So 2 minutes.
Okay, timer is started. Can you reset it? Oh, good. Hi, my name is Len Raphael. I'm a small business CPA located in Oakland. Have been in practice on my own for many years after working at two big four accounting firms and one small one. Uh, I ran for city auditor 10 years ago, and that was an interesting experience. I will not get into that right now, but it's on my website. My perspective on this is that Oakland has to be laser focused on delivering essential, fundamental core city services to residents and businesses. For decades, City Hall has allowed its attention to wander from the role of of local government to regional and national issues way beyond its scope and financial means. I believe the city of Oakland cannot significantly fix the underlying causes of poverty, economic inequality, homelessness, systemic rape, climate change, all those things that they have to be worked on. I would continue to advocate the federal and state and county to work on them. But until we can keep our streets paved, our parks clean, our police force fully staffed, we shouldn't try to save the world. In short, get back to basics. Okay, in my platform, by the way, is double the number of police to 1,200 with strict accountability and greater efficiency. Loosen the rules on OPD pursuit. I would pay for more cops and fix our very serious structural deficit by cutting non-core, non-essential expenditures and negotiating permanent compensation concessions from city employees under the threat of layoffs of non-public safety staff. And if they don't go along with that, there's always the nuclear option, which we don't like to talk about, which is Chapter 9. I would cut unmonitored anti-violence programs, and I would use half the savings to fund after-school tutoring. And lastly, I would humanely
All right.
move the
Thank
unhoused
you. That
off
is
public
time.
spaces. Oh, is
All
that
right. Zach. Yeah,
go?
that was your 2 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you all for being here. I appreciate your time and I appreciate you welcoming us in. My name is Zach Unger. I am a lifelong Oaklander. I actually live on the same street that I grew up on. My kids are fond of telling me that that means that my life has gone nowhere. I prefer to think that it means that I have a real sense of place. I feel very fortunate to have spent my life in Oakland, and Oakland has given me so much. It's given me my community. It's given me my sense of purpose. It's given my three kids a wonderful education through the OUSD. And it's given me my career. I've been an Oakland firefighter for 27 years, and I've had the chance to spend the night in every single neighborhood in Oakland. You know, we don't just come in and do a job and then leave. We're really embedded in the fabric of every community. I've also been the president of our union for the past 10 years and in elected union leadership for about 20. And in that capacity, I've had the chance to work with the city on any number of issues, such as long-term pension debt restructuring and public safety bond measures and ballot measures having to do with progressive gross receipts tax. And I think that it's really important that I have the temperament to do this job. I mean, if you look at my list of endorsements, you're going to see a lot of politicians who don't like each other too much, but they all agree that I'm someone who can go through the middle and really work with everyone across the aisle to figure out solutions for Oakland. As far as my priorities go, my number one priority is public safety. I think we've been offered a crass choice online that says that we have to pit public safety against civil rights. I don't think that's true. I think we can have a strong police force that keeps us safe while also not violating the rights of the most vulnerable in our community. I think the next most important process that we need to deal with is affordable housing and increasing our housing stock in Oakland. Our inability to house our community members is the moral failing of our times, and we need to make sure we build more housing. And then finally, the last thing is just basic functional city governments. We have too much of a chaos tax in Oakland that makes everything we do twice or four times as hard as it needs to be. So I want to pledge to you that we will increase the efficiency of government in Oakland. Thank you again for your time and for being here.
All right. Thank you. And now we will take questions. So please raise your hand if you have a question for our candidates.
I have a quick question. Hi, I'm Guy Bryant from the Alameda County Democratic Lawyers Club. Thank you for joining us. Real quickly, how would you work with the other council members to try and get things accomplished? What kinds of efforts would you do to form coalitions? Thank you.
Thank you. And for this one, we'll go to Zach first, and you will have 30 seconds.
So like I said, I have already been endorsed by 14 current and former city council members who know how this job works. And they all seem to agree that I'm someone who can come through the middle and really make coalitions with someone. And I've already done that. I've already been a go-between between council members. I've been a go-between between different factions. If you're looking for somebody who's going to come up with the sickest burns on social media, I'm definitely not your guy. I am not someone who is here to make enemies and relitigate the last fight. I'm someone who's here as a career public servant. You know, I'm not going anywhere. I live on that same street, and my only goal here is to finish out a career in public service by doing what's best for Oakland, working together with people to come up with solutions.
All right. Thank you. And Len, you also have 30 seconds.
Sure. I see it more as an issue very similar to that we face at the congressional House level. The Democrats have been extremely amenable to negotiation and compromise. The Republicans held control and refused to budge. I've seen this with Ramachandran, Gayo, and Reed recently on the budget. They both did the right thing. They said, no, we should not go ahead with this budget. We should discuss it further. They were voted down. That was a good example of what's wrong. It's not a matter of being able to work with different people. It's a matter of the other side being reasonable.
All right. Our next question will come from Sean Lee, and then followed by that, Dan Kelb.
Yeah, thank you so much. I wanted to ask, you're both very involved in like local D1 and citywide politics and in other causes, but we have had an issue with conflicts of interest and and political ethics in our town. So like, how do you look at separating all of your passionately held interests and service as a private individual versus how would you maintain your ethics in office?
All right, and we'll start with Len on this one.
I see a 10-year firefighters president and 20 Moses even longer on the board as being an inherent non-recusable conflict of interest. I would say you can't be he was a great firefighters president. He got great benefits and compensation for his union and others. You can't turn that off. As much as you can't recuse yourself from setting overall budget priorities. And if we don't change those budget priorities and they're going to go way
time.
If you're looking for someone who has no background and no interests, the only person you're going to be able to elect is an infant and preferably an orphan. We all come from somewhere. We all have supporters. We all have people that we've worked with in the past. Len has spent his career helping people avoid taxes and avoid paying money to the government, and that's his job, and he's very good at it. I think that I have been endorsed by people on all sides of the issue, and I can guarantee you, no matter what I do, I am going to disappoint people who have supported me. And that's very liberating, knowing that I've been supported by people from all spectrums of society in Oakland.
Thank you. Dan, you have the next question.
Hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I put it in the chat, so I'll just read what I said. What is your position on maintaining strong protections for renters in order to reduce displacement?
All right, Zach, 30 seconds.
I absolutely believe in strong tenant protections. We have had problems with predatory landlords in the past. It is vital that we maintain people in their residences. That is the best way to combat homelessness, is to make sure that people don't lose their homes in the first place. I think tenant protections are crucial. I think we need to provide attorneys for folks who are of low means to stay in their homes. We cannot let people become unhoused because of the actions of predatory landlords.
Thank you. Ben.
Yeah, I support the continuation of the existing rental adjustment program. I do not support expanding it. Conversations I've had with Stanford economists who are liberal Democrats said rent control often backfires and actually reduces the quantity of affordable housing. I would say I would seriously consider some kind of extension of allowing parcel taxes to be passed on to renters to some extent.
Thank you. All right, Christina, you have the next question.
Yes, I'd like to ask Len. He just said that he would humanely move all of the homeless people off the streets, and I'm wondering where he plans to move them.
In my travels around Oakland, I've noticed many vacant lots, especially in the industrial sections of town. I even went to one. I saw one recently right near right near Eastmont Mall. There was a homeless encampment all along the fence of a huge vacant lot. I would find vacant lots, lease them if necessary, possibly from the state, provide sanitary facilities, probably kitchen facilities, and if necessary, possibly bus services so they can get to the services, that public services. That's how I would handle.
That is time.
And live in
Zach, you
tents?
can also answer.
I'm sorry, am I to answer the question?
We'll come back to that, but Zach, you first have 30 seconds.
Encampment sweeps don't make homeless people magically disappear. When you sweep folks out of an encampment, they end up living somewhere else. So I do believe that we need to radically increase the number of transitional housing opportunities we have through Project Home Key and SRO conversions, and including our tiny cabins, in order to provide people alternate places to live. I do think that we need to enforce our encampment management policy, and I would begin with our parks and our schools. Those are sort of the anchor points near where our kids are. But I don't believe in the idea that encampment sweeps make homeless folks magically disappear.
All right. We have a question from Nelson Tam. I'll just read it off to be quick. How long do you foresee the budget deficit, and what's your forward guidance? So Zach?
The budget deficit is not going to be solved anytime quickly or easily. I think that we have to make some really hard decisions about what we can do as a city. We're not the state. We're not the federal government. We can do anything, but we can't do everything. We're going to need to make tough choices about what it is we can fund. And for me, at the top of the pyramid, we have public safety, then infrastructure, and then youth and senior services. And beyond that, we're going to have to take a really hard look at a lot of the programs that we have and see whether they are really proving their mettle and whether they are worth funding going forward.
Is it my turn?
All right. Yes.
Yeah. I listened to Dan Lindheim a month or two ago. He was asked on KQED what he would have done in Mayor Tao's and the situation that the council faced too. And he said she should have done what he and Dellums did. They went to all the unions and asked for concessions. And he said they got them because they said, if you don't give concessions, we'll lay people off. He said Mayor Tao and this council can't because they were all funded by the unions. And Zach is a prime example of that. They can't get the concessions that we need.
That is time. All right. Thank you, Len. Thank you, Zach. We are done with our District 1 portion of the meeting, and we'll now move on to District 7. So I will bring up our D7 candidates now. We've got Ken Houston here. Ken, are you still here? I do see Marcy here, though, so let's start with Marcy. And Marcy, I'm going to make you a co-host, and then you should be able to turn your mic on. All right, whenever you're ready,
it's on his
2
way
minutes.
back.
Marcy, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. And just to note, Ken is logging back in.
Okay, great. We'll start with your 2-minute opening statement, and then Ken can go next once he's back on. Ready?
All right, good evening, and thank you for the open door. My name is Marcy Hodge. I am a lifelong resident of District 7 and the city of Oakland. I attended college here, went to high school. I've always been here in the city of Oakland. And so through that experience, I've have experienced firsthand the great joys and the sorrows of our city. And unfortunately, I have watched a decline, most especially in District 7. And so it's been a concern of mine for a number of years. And I am running because I believe that we need proactive leadership and someone who can come in and help bridge the gap between the districts and mayor and work to move District 7 and the city of Oakland in a more positive direction. I am a former member of the Peralta Community College District. I served 2 terms for a total of 8 years. There, I built consensus with my colleagues, saw the district expand its vocational programs, and also ensured that money was redirected from international recruitment of students and focusing that money on students here in the Bay Area that we served. I'm ready to make tough decisions and manage taxpayer dollars in a way that is meaningful and purposeful. I'm known for being trustworthy, courageous, and hardworking. All these qualities make for a council person who is concerned about the city and who wants to see District 7 move in a positive direction. I believe in listening to constituents and making decisions that are tough. I see Ken.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I see Ken is joining our meeting right now. So let's give him a moment to connect, and I'll spotlight him as well. In the meantime, Gary, welcome aboard back. Do you want to give a quick welcome and introduction to MGO? All right, while we're waiting for Ken to connect, does anyone in the audience have any questions for Marcy? All right, I see one from Nelson Tam. What is your D7 revitalization plan? Are there new sectors of business you can bring to the district? Actually, hold on. We've got just a moment. We've got Ken here now, so I will let Ken do his opening first.
Got going on here. Thank you. How are you guys doing? Thank you, Marcy, for letting me know what was going on. How you guys doing? Thank you for the invite. Are you guys ready for me to give my opening speech?
Yes.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready. Your phone is sideways though, so you may want to turn your camera 90 degrees.
All right, let's see what
there
we
got
going on. See, you guys are in the comfort of your homes right now. I'm out here in the chilly cold. It looks like it's about to rain. I'm still on the ground. So my name is Ken Houston, son of Oakland, born and raised Oakland, 3rd generation. I'm the director of the Beautification Council, 501c3 nonprofit addressing the issues, the number 1 issues, the number 3 issues that our governor said to address, which is public safety, homeless, and housing. And that's what I do every day on the ground. I have 30 guys on the ground, 30 guys, women and men that are from the justice impacted and the unhoused, making living wage, above living wage, changing their lives. And that's how you stop public safety or the crime, because we hire the individuals that actually cause the crime in the streets. We bring them out of homelessness. We bring them, stop recidivism. We get them housing. And I'm actually doing the things, or we are, because it's just not me, it's a group of people that's behind me that's making it happen, are actually doing the things that are making the change, not talking about what we're going to do, talking about what's important right now and what we are doing. And I know you guys heard about the crime, the homicide that happened right around the street from my house. Somebody was shot in the chest. I mean, we're in war times right now. A black female was dumped on Oakport with her head cut off.
Oh my God.
It was people. Yeah, I got the video. I got the pictures. 2 women on 83rd was murdered. one of my on 83rd, one of my project managers, his daughter was the one that was shot in the face on 88 on 580. We are in war times, you guys. You need a wartime person right now, and I'm built for that time. I'm built for the day, and that's what I can do because I'm doing it right now. It's Ken Houston. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Nelson, you have the first question. All right. I'll just read Nelson's question. District 7 candidates.
Yes.
What is your D7 revitalization plan? Are there new sectors of business you can bring to the district? And we'll start with Ken. You have 30 seconds.
Revitalization. Here we go. Revitalization. We have to address. See, I'm used to addressing across Oakland because that's who I am. I'm across Oakland, west to the east. We have to address the court of Hagenberger. We lost what? In-N-Out. We lost Denny's, was tore down. We are actually going to possibly lose the automobile dealerships. They bring $300 to $500 million tax revenue. They are reaching out to me right now. I'm working with them right now to make them happy so their customers are safe when they come down. That's revitalization.
Thank you. And Marcy, same question.
Yes, well, it's important first to focus on safety. No one wants to come to a city and open up a business and they don't feel safe. So that's that would be a highlight of that. But we need to look at what's leading the future. Technology hubs, small businesses and retail, solar, sustainable projects, green, environmental hubs. So we need to look at that, and that would be something that I would be looking at.
Thank you. All right. Any other audience members have questions?
I have a question. What coalitions? Yeah, am I up for it?
Yes.
What coalitions would you bring to D7? What collaborations with other Oaklanders, other state or regional groups would you bring to Oakland to address the key problems or the key challenges that you see D7 facing?
Hey, Miriam, how are you? I didn't see you there. So is that for me?
And hi, Marcy.
We're going to go in the opposite order this time. So Marcy will answer first, and then Ken, you will follow.
Okay.
Yes, there are a multitude of groups that I would work with. Many of those groups have also been identified and have also contributed to our master plan. And of course, focusing on the general plan. Many of the areas in which we want to move District 7 in, much of that is already in our master plan. And so it would be about focusing and executing those goals and objectives. It's also important to ensure that we're getting community feedback. So go ahead.
All right. Thank you. Ken.
You work with the Lau family, you work with Roots, you work with Cypress Mandela, work with who I'm working with right now, work with the governor's office, Clean California, work with the supervisor's office. We have to do a regional approach. You got to work with the school. You got to know who's on the school board. Have to know with PG&E, East Bay Mud. All those issues, when your constituents have a problem, you can address them immediately, not have to go around, and you know exactly who to talk to for mental health, you know who to talk to for finances and bring money down. This ain't enough time, you guys. Right. You know that, right? This ain't enough time. You know that, right?
I know. I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah, if you have more to add, you can always mention in the next answer.
Okay.
We've got one more last question from Dan Kalb.
Thanks, Alfred.
Hey, Dan.
Thank you both for being here. Hey, how you guys doing? Same question I asked for the District 1. What is your position on maintaining strong protections for renters in order to reduce displacement?
All right, Ken, you have this one first.
You know what? That's a real difficult question for me because I'm focusing on bringing the individuals out of homelessness and get them safe parking where they're off the streets. We got to address the number one, Dan, and number two and number three problems. Gavin Newsom said, drop everything and address public safety. That's why he brought in highway patrol. We have highway patrol in our city right now, and if we didn't, it would have fell apart. So on the housing piece, I would address it at the.
Thank you. Marcy.
Well, rental control that's in place. We need to ensure that we continue to maintain that and also maintain a focus on the data. Also, it should be a priority to try to prevent as much displacement as possible. There are funds, of course, that we need to increase to assist low-income renters. Building affordable housing units is, of course, priority to help maintain placement with residents.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Marcy. Thank you, Ken. And next up, we will bring up our two District 5 candidates.
So we don't have a closing statement?
No, unfortunately, there's so many people running, so we are limited on time. But you just said I could
address it in my next question. Okay, all right. I want a closing statement, but okay, all right. I'm not going to be a rebel like I always am. So, all right, okay, cool. Thank you, guys. Right. I appreciate the opportunity. Marcy, call me later.
Will do.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Does someone
right.
mute?
Yeah. I got it handled. We've got Erin and Noel here for our District 5. And Erin, you will be first, and you will have a 2-minute opening statement. So whenever you're ready.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here and for allowing me to share a little bit about myself and my vision for the city of Oakland. I'm running on a really basic platform. This is about clean streets and safe neighborhoods. I really believe that we need to get the city back to basics and start focusing on some quality of life issues. And I know that if we can do that, if we can get clean streets and safe neighborhoods right, that's how Oakland is going to be prosperous and thrive. That's how we keep our businesses here. That's how we encourage investment. That's how we make sure that people want to stay and invest here in the city of Oakland. For the last 8 years, I've been the senior policy advisor to Alameda County Supervisor Nate Miley. And I've had an opportunity to tackle some of the most challenging issues facing our city and region today, whether it's affordable housing, mental health, illegal dumping, early care and education, homelessness, you name it. I have been working to address it. And I'm looking to bring those skills to the city of Oakland and to city council. The way that we address any systemic problem is by bringing together a broad coalition and moving forward with a comprehensive strategy. That's how I've approached illegal dumping. That's how we've removed over 500 tons of illegal dumping and held hundreds of people accountable while also preventing illegal dumping from coming onto our streets. We need comprehensive solutions, and we need council members who have the skills, energy, and ability to build the coalitions that can get the job done. That's what I hope to bring to the city council, and I hope that I'll have your support in making this vision for Oakland a reality. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, 2 minutes. Noel?
Yes, can you hear me okay? Testing 1, 2, can you hear me? Yeah, thank you. My name is Noel Gallo, member of the Oakland City Council. I've been on the City Council for 11 years, and I also had the opportunity to serve on the Oakland Board of Education for 20 years. I grew up here in Oakland and East Oakland, raised 3 daughters and a son. They all attended Oakland High School, Fremont High School, went on to UC Berkeley and Stanford University, and I myself graduated from business school at University of California. And one of the reasons why I'm continuing to run is at the request of my neighbors, residents, the business community. They're looking for experienced leadership. And clearly, growing up here in Oakland and East Oakland, public safety is the #1 priority. And having a clean city is also on the top of the list. It's not about what we say, it's what we do and what we have proven to do in the past. And certainly with having a safe environment and having a clean environment will attract businesses. As an example, next week I'm going to be doing the dedication of Prologis. They're rebuilding their warehouse at 27 acres on Fruitvale and Alameda Avenue. They're going to be creating manufacturing, office space, and so forth, and bringing many jobs and taxes here to Oakland. And so I'm not only dealing with safety and a clean city, and I've been doing this hands-on, not just one day, 2 days. We've been doing it every day of the week, from 6 a.m. to 2 in the afternoon. With 4 of my employees, we're not sitting there writing more laws and more rules. We're out there trying to clean the city and try to make it safe to bring businesses and keep businesses here in Oakland. And I am very close to education, and I want to make sure that my children and families are safe, can walk to school, but have a productive setting where they can learn and have a future when it comes to, education and when it comes to maintaining the neighborhood. And those are my priorities. And we'll continue to work with our community and the state and the county to
All right, thank you. So next, Howard, you have the first question.
Thank you, Alfred. I live in District 5, and I ran into Erin when she helped me put my bag on my porch on Davis Street. And I've seen Noel many times dealing with trash in our neighborhood. And my main question is, what would you do in terms of addressing issues like infrastructure in terms of streets being paved as well as dumping in Fruitvale?
All right. So for this one, we'll have 30 seconds. We'll start with Noel and then Erin.
We have invested millions and millions of dollars here in District 5. As a matter of fact, if you look at Fruitvale Avenue right now, we're putting in $10 million of dollars, not only doing the water lines, sewer lines, and even because the creek also runs on the Fruitvale Avenue. So we're rebuilding our streets. We've done Coolidge, 35th, High Street, Foothill, and you take a look at many of the neighboring streets that are around our schools. We have rebuilt that to make them safe, speed bumps, and so forth.
Yeah. Thank you. Erin.
Fact of the matter is, we're all paying right now Measure KK. Anyone who has a parcel is paying this tax in the city of Oakland. We should be getting 100 miles of paved streets every year. We're getting 50. That's an F in my book, and I don't find that acceptable. I have an MBA and an MPP from Mills College here in Oakland, and I know how to make efficient systems. That's what we can do. Regarding illegal dumping, we need to bring together a coalition. My plan is to build a clean streets task force that will include the city, the county, the state, BART, as well as our communities and nonprofits, will all come together to address illegal dumping comprehensively.
Thank you. All right. Our next question is from Christina and then Meredith. Christina.
Hi. So Oakland has seen continuous development in the past 6 to 7 years. I've been in the middle of it because I live in downtown Oakland. So we were told that rents would go down. They haven't really went down very much at all. The homelessness problem has not gotten better. So my question is this: would either of you candidates advocate for a rent moratorium, a rent increase moratorium? And 2, would you accept money from housing developers?
All right, we'll start with Erin.
The answer is no to both. But what I will say is that I have been working for the last 2 years with the Bay Area Housing Finance Authority to build a $20 billion regional bond for affordable housing. Unfortunately, it was just removed from the ballot, but we're continuing in Alameda County to look at what we can do to provide affordable housing dollars. I also created the policy for Measure W, which is about homeless prevention, keeping people in their homes so that when they lose their job or they get in a car wreck or they break their leg, they're able to stay housed, because it's a lot cheaper to keep somebody housed than it is to rehouse somebody once they become homeless.
Thank you.
Yes, my experience with housing is, as a matter of fact, we built over 2,000 affordable housing units here, working with the Unity Council. And we just opened up Arabella that provides 300 units. I'm working with the Native American Health Center. They're just under construction of 100 additional units. I'm working with the Catholic Diocese. They're going to make their land available for housing that'll be able to create another 100 units. And so the Saha group as well, they're develop a good number of housing, including Ipose. So I'm a big, strong supporter of creating more housing to house our people in need.
All right, Meredith, you have the next question.
I had to unmute myself there. But can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
My question is, where would you rate mental health response training in terms of public safety? And I guess the second part of that is, what, if anything, would you do to improve that capacity within our city?
All right, Noel.
Yes, I was one of the founders of the macro program that brought it from Seattle and Oregon to the city of Oakland. Due to the situation we have on our sidewalk streets, to deal with the individuals that are having mental situations. So not only did I bring the macro to have the police focus on other violent crime, but also to be able to assist. But I also have the cooperation of the hospitals here in the area that would assist, including the nonprofits like American Health Center and others.
Aaron, same question.
Mental health is core to public safety. Similar to what we have in the city of Oakland, I've worked on our macro programs for the county to make sure that we have non-police response. The real difference that the county has, and I think this is a big improvement and very important, is that we have clinicians embedded in our teams, and we are not required to call in the police when we have to do a 5150. That's the exact wrong moment to be calling in an armed person with a gun and a badge, and I think that that's a very easy fix that we can start right here in the city of Oakland with macro to make sure that they can do 5150s, and that we're linking them with the Care Courts program, which are coming online in 2024 and which I'm helping with.
Thank you. All right, that concludes our District 5 portion of tonight. And next we will have the at-large.
Thank you.
So I'm going to bring up all of our at-large candidates. So please turn your mics on and your video on so I can find all of you. Got quite a few people here. Ron Armstrong, Lena Brown, John Danino, while I'm bringing everyone up, we will get started with our opening speeches. We're starting in alphabetical order by last name. So, LaRon Armstrong, you are first. You have 2 minutes.
All right, LaRon Armstrong, running for city council member at large. I'm the former chief of police for the Oakland Police Department, and I'm running as someone that is born and raised in Oakland and has a tremendous care for our city and the safety of our city, prioritizing public safety, bringing forth my experience as a police chief and as the last chief that actually reduced crime in the city of Oakland in 2022. Also, as the only candidate that really has the executive experience of leading the largest department in the city of Oakland, which is the Oakland Police Department, with over 1,100 employees and managing the largest budget of any candidate with over $350 million. And so really focusing on how can we make our city safer. Also, how can we address our issues around housing in our community, how we can come up with a true strategy that focuses on actually placing people in housing. And then how do we beautify our city and deal with the blight and the garbage that is impacting our city? I think as the candidate who has been there before in City Hall and understands how this process works, I think I'm ready to hit the ground on day one addressing these issues. Obviously, public safety is a major concern for people in our city. So how do we strengthen our police department? How do we begin to provide the support needed so that they can actually address crime in our city? I think that's what I've really been focused on for the last 25 years. And as somebody who has put safety first in their career focus, I think I'm well positioned to do that. But I also bring budget experience about how we manage the budget crisis that we're facing right now as the only chief enforcer to actually produce a balanced budget in the Oakland Police Department where we didn't overspend for 2 years. It really is a testament to understanding how we provide fiscal responsibility. And in Oakland right now, that's truly what we need. And so I bring all of my experience to the table, and hopefully I'm able to help Oakland move forward through this tremendous crisis that we're facing right now.
All right, thank you. Next, we have Rowena Brown. Minutes.
Good evening, everyone. Rowena Brown, running for Oakland City Council at large, proud East Bay native, grew up playing in East Oakland parks to living, working, and playing in the beautiful city of Oakland for over 2 decades. And although I lost both of my parents by the age of 17, I was able to navigate the public school system, Laney College, Mills College in East Oakland, and law school just across the bay at UC Hastings. I am a former licensed optician turned 8th grade civics education teacher to working on behalf of the East Oakland community for the city of Oakland as a constituent coordinator, serving the community during the worst times of the pandemic. And now in my current role as district director to State Assemblymember Mia Bonta, I have been focused on delivering results for communities across the city of Oakland, both hands-on and legislatively. I am running to ensure that Oakland is safe, clean, and provide immediate caring solutions to our unhoused community while focusing on affordable housing and uplifting our small businesses across our city. And these will be all things that I would be focused on day one. And my ability to be effective really stems from my ability to collaborate and partner with everyone. And this is all work that I do daily now. And so as your elected council member at large, I will bring a new energy, fresh, innovative ideas, and experience working across all levels of government to ensure transformative change here in the city of Oakland. I'm also honored to be endorsed by a coalition of amazing community members, labor organizations, endorsed by SEIU 10 to 1, Alameda Labor Council, Building and Construction Trades, Assemblymember Mia Bonta, Latifah Simon, and many more.
Thank you. John, you are next.
Hey folks, thanks so much for taking the time. My name's Sean Danino. I use he and they pronouns. Coming from a debate night where I was really excited to support Kamala with some great people, the Oakland Beer Runners at Two Pitchers Brewery. So I'm the child of immigrants and I'm running on a deeply pro-housing, pro-mobility platform. I come with over a decade of experience planning for housing. I worked at the state housing department for the last 5 years, where I planned for the production of over 250,000 mixed income homes across the state. I reviewed Oakland's housing plan and got the Rockridge neighborhood desegregated and allowed to accommodate thousands of additional homes. I'm a big advocate for safe streets. I serve on the board of Transport Oakland and Transform, where I believe really firmly in separating mobility lanes so that folks like my mom who use a wheelchair can move safely across the city, also protecting bikes and folks walking. On day one, I'll be passing a policy to re-legalize the neighborhood market, something that we made illegal for problematic and honestly mostly racist reasons in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. We should be able to walk to the places we work, and walkability should not be a privilege that only wealthier, wider neighborhoods enjoy. Now, crossing the street should not be the most dangerous thing we do, but unfortunately it is across Oakland. And I'm here to be advocating that we can move across our city in a way that's economically and environmentally sustainable. So many of my friends and loved ones are pushed by the cost of owning a car. And we don't have to plan our cities this way. We can plan our cities so that they're human scale, more affordable and accessible. Now, I want to talk about housing and displacement as somebody with lived experience around homelessness. I'm the candidate who is going to be running on a zero displacement housing program. I have a mechanism that's been vetted extensively by land trusts, home builders, tenants' rights advocates. And I have a disability too. I'm on the autism spectrum, but in many ways, that's a superpower too when it comes to analyzing zoning and land use codes. I'll close with a quote from John Oliver. If you want to do something evil, hide it in something really boring. And we need elected officials who have the appetite to get in the weeds, to advocate for good, high quality policies like neighborhood markets, separate sale of ADUs, both day one policy of mine. Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. Tanisa, you're next. Oh, please turn your microphone on.
Start over. Do I have 1 minute? Okay.
2 minutes.
Two. Okay.
2 minutes.
That's amazing. I'm Kanita Matori. Thank you for having me. I am running because Oakland need an experienced voice, especially from the business community. Business is making up almost half of our general fund, which paid for a lot of the local services like police, fire, park, library, and our administration. As we all know, we're all facing a serious current budget shortfall. It's affecting all our public safety resource, which is number one for me as a current right now as a business owner, which is contributing to hundreds of businesses are closing. As an experienced business owner for almost 20 years here in Oakland, I know what it takes to build and to grow businesses. And I understand that. I also understand finance because I study finance, and I will prioritize like budget issues. Without, funding, there's nothing we could do. I mean, there's a lot of things we could do, but without funding, there's not going to be much. I am that practical candidate with common sense solution to help achieving all of Oakland progressive value. I'm the candidate that's going to go to work and not overpromising. I am also the candidate that will support contract independent auditor for all city department. That's all organization who receive from taxpayer dollar. I'm here to restore public safety, revitalizing local economy, and rebuild connection throughout all of community. I'm going to close with a quote with, Barack Obama said that small business are the backbone of our economy, and it's also what the tide of connection of our community. And I wanna build a town where we all love to live, and that's my mission here, and that's the reason why I'm running, because it's as a business in the business community, we are very frustrated with what's going on here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have Nancy. You have 2 minutes.
Okay. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
My name is Nancy Sidebotham. I moved here to Oakland in 1964, went to Merritt College on Grove Street, went to Cal State Hayward, been involved in politics in Oakland since 1982. Many of you know me because I have run quite a few times because I want the truth to be said and I want to educate people about what's really going on in the city. And we need to start making changes and start electing people that actually care about Oakland. And not once they're in office, all of a sudden the hidden agendas come out and that takes over and the rest of the city pays for the next 3.5 years until the next election. This needs to stop. And I believe also that we should change to have all the areas, get rid of the district elections and have everybody elected by the whole city so that they're answerable to the whole city. Because once people get in office, cliques form. And in that sense, East Oakland has suffered drastically over the years because of this, and that needs to change. We have crime. We have streets that are a mess. We get rid of people that actually know how to do their job, and we change the system. And the problem is the people that are changing the system have not a clue what the H they're doing, and that affects all of us, and we're paying the price big time. We had Gallagher and Burke that did our streets. We never had our streets this way, but yet we still buy our asphalt from them. But ever since they left, our streets have gone downhill. Crime is out of control. Yes, we can blame Prop 47, but that's not all of it. We don't have jobs in this country. We don't have jobs in Oakland. Mom and pop stores are not jobs. They don't hire a massive amount of people that need to be hired. We aren't teaching civics in schools anymore.
Thank you. All right, time is up. All right, Christina, you're next. 2 minutes.
Same question as last time. I hear a lot of talk about affordable
Oh, no,
housing.
Sorry. Hold on, sorry. I was talking to Christina, the candidate. Christina Estrada.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, sorry, you have a beautiful name, Christina, but I'm Christina Tostado, like tostadas, but with an O. I also go by Tina from the town. I grew up on 62nd and East 14. I am first generation Mexican American, which means I am a dreamer. So I believe that if you can dream it, you can do it. This is one of the reasons why I'm running for office at large, where I want to inspire Oaklanders to chase their dreams. I want them to go after it. And whatever it is that they have, I want them to see this little Mexican girl from East Oakland and feel inspired to do whatever they feel is needed. I am an Oakland Library Commissioner. I'm a mentor for Life Goes On, where we're trying to end senseless gun violence. I'm a board member for Reading Partners, Young Professional. I'm also part of the Oakland Ed Fund. I'm a part of the advisory board. I was a part of the illegal dumping pilot from Supervisor Nate Miley. I was a former board member of the Oakland Latino Chamber of Commerce. Everything that I do in Oakland is volunteer. I love our city. What I do for a living is I actually manage a multi-billion-dollar company. I help manage a multi-billion-dollar company. I'm a supervisor for Costco Wholesale, which has a stellar reputation for obeying the law. And in the business world, we're looked at as abnormal for taking care of our members, also making sure that our stockholders are taken care of. My 3 priorities are mental health, economic business development, and I plan to have Measure U work for Oaklanders, work for us. That's money that the voters already approved, and we definitely need help with potholes and infrastructures. I am a candidate that's collaborated with government, with business, and community stakeholders.
All right, thank you. That is time. Charlene, you're next.
Is that me, Alfred? Okay.
Yes, there's only one Charlene.
Yes. Okay, got it. Hey everyone, my name is Charlene Wang, W-A-N-G. I'm a longtime public servant who's been working my entire career on just groundbreaking social policy, everything from reforming the homelessness response system in Massachusetts. I served in the Biden-Harris administration, also helped them get elected as we see future President Harris on the debate stage. And there I actually delivered on their infrastructure agenda, standing up a $4 billion program to reconnect and restore communities that have been segregated by the highway system. That's bringing $32 million to Oakland today, as well as standing up workforce development programs for people exiting the prison system. I'm an East Bay native. My grandparents actually lived in the low-income housing right off the highway out in West Oakland. My priorities here for the city of Oakland include just number 1, public safety. I used to be a board member of the Family Violence Law Center, and I know that domestic violence victims today are not getting a 911 response when they call 911. That is not acceptable. Jobs and opportunity. This is inclusive economic development. We're going to bring manufacturing jobs here to Oakland that are actually going to solve the climate change crisis because we're going to produce the next generation of solar panels, housing and homelessness, building more housing, as well as reforming the homelessness response system. I uniquely to any other candidate, I can bring the money to Oakland when we face this serious budget crisis. As I mentioned before, I have stood up grant programs at the federal level. I know where to shake the couch cushion, so to speak, to find the pennies, find the money that we so desperately need during this budget crisis. That is my pitch to you all. And that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Our first question is from Nelson and is, what do you hope to get done in the first 9 months? And we'll go in reverse order, starting with Charlene. 30 seconds for answers.
Okay, great question. So my number 1 priority is, in fact, public safety. One thing I want to do, 2 things as it relates to public safety. 1, due to Nancy Skinner, we can now actually hire undocumented people into the police force. We haven't taken advantage of that in Oakland. Let's do that. It'll make a difference also for safety for our undocumented communities. We should also invoke the law enforcement mutual aid agreement that we have with our neighboring cities to get neighboring cities to help our current understaffed police force. The other thing that we need to do is get our fiscal house in order. That means making sure that we're going after every grants, putting in place a grants team.
All right, thank
I
you.
will end with that.
Christina, 30 seconds.
Hi, Nelson. So the first 9 months, I plan to work with Alameda County. This year alone, they received $206 million for mental health services. We need to provide access and resources to make sure that each and every Oaklander knows that they're important, that they matter, that their mental health is important, and that they're not alone. So with that money, it needs to be allocated and in Oakland.
Thank you. All right, Nancy.
The first thing I want to work on is get a group of citizens together to take the charter and go through it and see what needs to be cleaned out of it and bring it up to date so that we are working in a current charter versus something that we have had for years and where we've got laws in there that are not enforced and it's hurting the community. And if we're not going to enforce them, then they need to be taken off the books. The other thing that needs to be done is we need to get a complete outside monetary audit done. Thank you.
Anita. Anita, please turn your microphone on. Sorry, it cut off again. Anita, can you turn on?
Can you hear me? Okay. So
Yes.
yes. So I have to be I'll agree with Nancy, which is public safety is number one. As a business owner here for 20 years, I don't even want to continue to do anything if the public safety is not under control. So audit it and figure that out is the priority number one, the first 9 months.
Thank you. And John.
Hey, folks. Okay, so I can follow up with a much, not as someone with a master's in public policy. Day one policies of mine are going to be to legalize the neighborhood market, something we can crimp from Berkeley. They already passed an ordinance. We'll save $500,000 on consulting fees. Also, day one, legalize the separate sale of backyard homes or ADUs, which I've worked on extensively. In the longer term, in the 9 months, I plan to pass a zero displacement housing program. We have it figured out. We're also going to streamline the approval of separated bike lanes and mobility lanes so we can move safely across the street. Crossing the street should not be the most dangerous thing we do. Let's get it done.
Rowena.
Yep. So similar to how everyone else kind of engaged the question, focused on public safety, working together with OPD, Department of Violence Prevention, Ceasefire, Macro, because all of these come into play to ensure that our neighborhoods are indeed safe. And the focus will be on more walkable neighborhoods and businesses being able to do business across the city of Oakland.
Thank you. Laurent.
Well, I think public safety is first, and sitting down with other council members in the public safety committee to come up with a comprehensive public safety plan for our city on how we're going to enhance our response to crime in our city and how we can grow our police department. And secondly, also coming up with a fiscal budget plan, an outside audit to determine where we can begin to drill into this budget that clearly needs to be addressed immediately so that we can actually become more fiscally responsible. Those two things I would work on immediately. And I think with a budget due in June, it would be.
Thank you. Dan, you have the next question.
Thanks, Alfred. Great to see so many people here running for the at-large seat. I'll be quick. What is your position on maintaining strong protections for renters in order to reduce displacement? Thanks.
Okay, and we'll start in our original sequence. So, Laurent, you're first.
Yeah, I plan to continue to support our renters to make sure we don't increase displacement. Obviously, homeless and housing is a critical issue for us. But I also think we need to make sure that we are not causing significant problems for our small mom and pop property owners who rely on rents as a way of actually making their income up, because I think that's been a problem as well. I think when we're talking about property, I think there's both sides to it. I think we have to protect our renters, but also make sure that we don't cause huge issues for those that are renting.
All right. Thank you, Rowena.
Excellent. Yeah, this is very important to me. I would be interested, as someone who was endorsed by the Oakland Tenants Union, I will be very focused on ensuring that the cost of rent actually is reduced and that we are actually creating more units of deeply affordable housing so that our seniors and young people can actually afford to live, work, and play in the city of Oakland.
Thank you. And Sean.
All right, folks. So yeah, it'll be hard to keep this to 30 seconds. I'm a candidate with deep expertise on housing and homelessness. I'm a candidate with a zero displacement housing program, which makes room for new residents, increases our property taxes while making sure that we have zero displacement. Homelessness is a policy choice and it's the wrong choice to be making. And one thing that I can offer to this race is that we have made naturally affordable housing across the city illegal to build with so many requirements: single stairwell, historic districts. I'm the candidate with a zero displacement housing program, a lot of experience on programs like TOPA and COPA. Vote Sean Denny.
Kanitha?
Well, everyone said all the amazing thing. Increasing inventory and definitely like being able to have more option for sure. This is a problem. I am who are a landlord, tenant in the past. I have experience on both sides. It's a very how do you call it, complicated issues. I understand both sides because I rent. And
thank you. All right, Nancy.
I think we need to look at both sides because tenants need to be protected, yes, but small mom and pop landlords also need to be protected because a lot of them have lost their property. A lot of them are owed a lot of money. And this is something that can't go on. A lot of the people that were renting that could afford to pay rent didn't because they just passed a blanket law saying you don't have to pay rent, instead of working it so that people that could pay it and were working continued to pay. So this is a very difficult area to look at because it involves too many different sides. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Christina.
Hi, Dan. Thank you for that question. I actually was fortunate enough to buy a house about 12 years ago in the city of Hayward, but I'm actually currently renting here in our beautiful city of Oakland. So I actually could see both sides to it. I actually had issues with the renters I had previously in Chinatown, and it had to go as far as having to sue them because they were illegally charging me. So I definitely understand that there's tenant rights, and we should support our low-income housing. We should make a plan for everyone to be able to have a house or somewhere to live.
Charlene.
Hi, yes. Thanks for that question, Dan. 3 things I'd like to do. First, we need to reinstate the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. This is a win-win. That program has run out of money. Let's put that in place. The other thing is, I would like to see more power to the city attorney to actually enforce our existing renter control laws. I've heard too many stories of landlords illegally raising rents above the rent control and renters having to go and find their own legal aid. We need to ensure that, and that is it.
All right. I have a question for everyone, and this is a short one. Since we have ranked choice voting, who's number 2 on your ballot? And we'll start with Charlene.
Oh, wow. Well, this is a big one, Alfred. Well, thank you. I am currently mulling that over and having some conversations with people. I'm leaning towards some folks, but I need to, I will get back to you on that. So Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Christina.
A very personal question there, Alfred. No, honestly, I'm on Charlene's boat too. I'm having conversations with different people. So make sure you guys reach out, if you guys want my amazing vote. I would love to have conversations. I want to make sure that your values align with mine and that's best for what Oakland needs, not what you guys need, what Oakland needs.
Thank you. Nancy.
Not fair, Alfred. And the answer is haven't decided yet because I don't know most of the people that are running, and I haven't been to that many forums because I haven't been invited to a few of them. So the name of the game is I'm just waiting to see.
Thank you. Anissa?
Well, same with Nancy. I mean, I'm talking to everyone. I'm trying to meet every candidate pretty much. Of course, my best decision is, of course, for the safety of Oakland, and it's priority number one for me. And of course, experience matter, which, that is very important. So I am meeting all the different candidates and thinking it over. I'm narrowing it down as we speak, but
Thank you. All right, Sean.
Yeah, so I like other people. I think we're a very leaderful city with a lot of really thoughtful people. I'm really committed to running a deeply collaborative campaign, and I hear lots of great ideas from folks like Rowena, who I had an appreciation post for today on Instagram. Folks like Charlene, who I think has really deep federal government expertise. I'll just say open offer to zero displacement is my number one priority. Getting the city housed is my number one priority. Homelessness is the wrong policy choice. Anyone who signs onto my zero displacement platform, consider me your number two.
Rowena.
Right, I guess I'm up next. And I guess similar to what everyone has mentioned, I've had the opportunity to honestly get to know everyone, all of the candidates in some capacity. And so I honestly am looking forward to, because in fact, you could actually rank your top 5 on the ballot, right? It's not just the top 3. So keep that in mind as you're kind of making that decision. And so I hope to be, as many folks in this room, you're number 2.
Thank you. Ron?
Yeah, just like the other candidates, I've met with a couple of candidates and definitely have some aligning values with some candidates. And so I haven't made a decision yet, but I am narrowing it down and definitely want somebody who supports public safety and supports small business and again wants to address the homeless issue in our city. So we'll see. We'll make a decision at a certain point.
All right. Thank you all for running. I know it's a lot of work. And next, we will bring up our District 3 candidates to close out the evening. All right, I see 2 Warren Logans. I hope this is the right one. There you are. All right, I'm going to make you a co-host, so you should be able to turn your mic on. I see Marin as well. All right, and I see Bama still here. Yes. All right, and I know Carol mentioned she might still be at a city council committee meeting, so she'll join us.
He's at the
when she's
Harvey Milk
available.
Club at the moment.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well,
Alfred, can you hear
we'll
me?
start with yes.
Just a quick request. First of all, I'm Gary Serviu. I apologize to all of you. I had real technical difficulties getting on. For those who are coming on, try if you can to set up so that your faces are showing. I guess I see Abalathi. or I'm trying for your name.
Afolabi, or just call me Baba.
Okay, so thank you. So try to make it so that if you can get any illumination of your face, it would be great. I wish I had said this earlier, but it counts. So if you have a lamp that you can face in your direction, and is for anybody else who's listening now or maybe coming up. Okay.
Okay. All right. Baba, let me know if you are ready.
I think he's coming back.
While we're waiting.
Looking for a lamp.
Okay. Okay, while we're waiting, we'll start with some of the other candidates. Marin, are you ready for your 2-minute opening?
Yeah, you can go ahead. I can go ahead.
Go for it.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Maron Samada. I call District 3 my home. I have lived, worked, and studied in the Bay Area. Today, I run a nonprofit organization that's serving Oakland community and Oakland youth. I also work at UC Berkeley, and recently I graduated from the Goldman School of Public Policy and Public Affairs. So, District 3 is my community, and I live its challenges and benefits with you every day. We need to build a collective vision for Oakland's future, taking grassroots inputs from everyone who cares through periodic neighborhood discussions. Like you, I know the key to reviving Oakland and improving our quality of life lies in strengthening our community. Working together, we can make Oakland safer by hiring more emergency responders, not just more police, but also specialists to address mental health, homelessness, and other emergencies. Address root causes through policies and spending priorities that tackle the underlying reasons for crime, homelessness, unemployment, drug abuse, and other issues. Demand accountability for how our tax dollars are spent. Build a safer, cleaner, and more affordable Oakland by better exploiting state and federal funds and expertise. Generate revenue by protecting and incentivizing our small businesses. Create a better future by supporting organizations that are serving families and provide opportunities to our youth for a productive life. And we can also build a better Oakland by ensuring that our city council members are accessible and also responsive to voters. I will always be available to you. I have a phone number that's dedicated for this campaign. You can reach me at 510-779-4738. And I'm looking forward to more of this engagement with every member of our community. I will always be available for you to meet, to engage, to listen to you, and to take your voices into the city hall. Thank you.
Thank you. Warren, you're next.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Warren Logan, and I'm a candidate for Oakland City Council District 3. I had the pleasure of moving to Oakland just over 10 years ago. As a gay Black man, I was looking for a safe haven, a community, a place to feel home. And shortly after moving here, I started a group called the Black Women's Brunch that it now has about 400 members. It started in my kitchen with a few members before. Each time that people join us, you see just how excited they are to see a group of people that resembles community, of home, of safety. They're disarmed and they're truly vibrant in that experience. I believe that Oakland City District 3 should be clean, safe, and vibrant. When I say clean, I want to make sure that we're addressing illegal dumping. When I say safe, I want to address all the challenges that we're dealing with public safety. And then finally, in terms of vibrancy, we have to support our small businesses and bring back the life that makes District 3 and truly the city of Oakland so amazing. Before this time, I was an emergency director for the city of Oakland. I led our response to COVID, and I helped set up the first round of testing sites in 2020. I also launched the nation's largest Slow Streets program to help families be safe, enjoying their streets outside during COVID. And finally, I launched our Shared Streets program to help support merchants during a really challenging time to exercise their merchant abilities outside on parklets, in street festivals, et cetera. I'm committed to making the city beautiful and vibrant again, and I look forward to having your support. And thank you all for having us tonight, and to the other candidates being here as well.
Thank you. Baba, you have 2 minutes also.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
All right. My name is Baba Afolabi. I'm a longtime District 3 resident. I've been living in District 3 for the last 26 years. I'm a second-generation immigrant. I'm deeply rooted in Oakland. I have siblings that are born and raised in Oakland. My father spent 22 years in Oakland in District 3, actually, and before he moved to London. So I have been a District 3 member since I've been in Oakland. I went to Laney College. I went to Cal State Hayward to study criminal justice. So I have a criminal justice background with the hope of becoming a criminal lawyer. But I eventually went to business school to study organization leadership. Over my years staying in Oakland, I've worked with mom and pop stores, which led me to when we had the Occupy Wall Street during the 2011, from the back of the 2008 housing crash. We have to revitalize Uptown. I was one of the creative that started working on that, and we pretty much going to landlords and talking to them about giving us opportunity to activate their space, and we did that. I also co-host an African Ubaja festival in West Oakland in Lowell Park, which we hosted for like about 5 years before pandemic hit, and we have to stop it, and we're still working on trying to bring it back. My passion for Oakland runs deep. As I said earlier, I'm a business owner, and I've built about 3-4 businesses in the last 10 years, and employing about a little over 80 people, and contributing significantly to the local economy. District 3 is a commercial hub of Oakland. We all know that without business, anything else we talk about will not be paid for. So that it's critical that when you look at the city council right now, there's nobody with a business background, and I am bringing that to city council, and I want to bring that to City Hall to speak for our small businesses. Thank you.
Thank you. So next, we're going to go to our questions, and you will each have 30 seconds to answer. We're going to flip back the order again to start with Baba. And the first question comes from Nelson Tam. What is your outlook on Interstate 980?
Thank you for that question. I actually started living in Oakland in Oak Village, which is right next to 980 on 13th and Brush. I bought my first condo when I was 25 on 12th and Martin Luther King. So I live a good chunk of my life there. 880, I believe that, they're working on figuring out what to do with it. I believe that it should be covered. I don't think we need to take it out completely or look for how we can environmentally and economically make that happen, because we can reclaim that land and build on it, or make it a park like Central Park and make it a part of attraction for Oakland. Thank you.
Thank you. Warren.
Thank you for that question. I strongly support reimagining Interstate 980 into housing and alternative transportation modes. As the city's former transportation policy director and also for government affairs, I actually helped shepherd that project to be a priority project in the Downtown Specific Plan. I also got the state Caltrans to issue funding for planning, and I moved the regional transportation body, MTC, to earmark funding for this project once the planning is complete. So truly, I have shepherded that project from start to finish, and I'm very excited to see it move forward.
Thank you. Maren.
Thank you for that question. I think we have to reimagine and re-envision 880, but also more importantly, how do we create and how do we make it more vibrant in order to create more businesses around the area? And that way we can invite as many as possible people to Oakland and get more revenue for the city. So it's a great idea, but yeah, that's pretty much my idea on Interstate 880.
Thank you. Dan, you have the next question.
Thanks. Thank you all. What is your position on maintaining strong protections for renters in order to help reduce displacement?
All right. Maren, you'll have the first.
Can you say that question again first? Sorry.
What is your position on maintaining strong protections for renters in order to help reduce displacement?
All right. Thank you for that question, Dan. I've been a renter ever since I lived in West Oakland in District 3. But again, it's this fine line that we always have to figure out between landlords and also tenants. And one thing that can elevate that is building as many as possible affordable housing. We need to go to state and federal funding to try to be able to build as many as possible affordable housing, and in such a way that it brings more competitiveness, reduces the cost of rent in Oakland, and as such, we will have more.
Thank you.
For rent in Oakland.
Warren, you're next.
Thank you, Councilmember Cal, for that question. I support maintaining strong protections for renters to avoid displacement, including the city's rent control programs. I also support pursuing emergency rent subsidies because we know that a number of people who have experienced being unhoused just needed a little bit of help just once. I also support making sure that we're incentivizing property owners to upgrade their spaces to modern standards with fire. And then lastly, I support building more affordable housing on city property.
Thank you. Baba?
So as someone that actually experienced that in Oak Village, I moved out of Oak Village because when they combined my salary and my brother's salary, we were making more than we can live there. So we were able to move and buy our own place. So I would like to see about actually transitioning people if they can buy. Secondly, is to ask landlord that 30 days before you evict anybody, you have to report that yourself. Find a way we can involve technology where they can do that report and fund lawyers that are ready to protect renters, because a lot of time you want to fight landlord, but if you don't have the legal aid to do that, you can't. So I would like to support those initiatives.
All right. Does anybody have any last questions for our candidates? Please raise your hand. All right. Well, thank you all for being part of our candidate forum.
May I make
I will stop the recording.
And that's, if everyone that's listening, if you are or know of an attorney or a judge that's living or working in Alameda County, they can join the Alameda County Democratic Lawyers Club. Call your friends, tell your friends to join up, and the address is there in the chat. Tell them to sign up and vote for you. And we want to make sure that we have a robust membership, and thank you everyone for being here.
Thank you. And same pitch for the Metropolitan Greater Oakland Democratic Club. You don't even have to be a lawyer to be part of our club, so feel free to join us at mgodems.org. I'll put that in the chat as well.